There is a mathematical proof that you're not living a pre-written life. It's called the three-body problem, and it destroyed the idea of a clockwork universe. Add one more object to a system, and prediction collapses. Not because we're not smart enough, because the math itself contains chaos. You are three bodies: thought, emotion, awareness, which means your future can't be calculated, even by you. Reality isn't broken because it's unpredictable. It's unpredictable because that's the only way you could be free. There's a mathematical problem that destroyed Isaac Newton's perfect universe. A puzzle so simple a child could understand it, but so complex that 300 years later, no one has solved it. Three objects, three gravitational pulls, infinite chaos. And here's what nobody tells you. You are that problem.
Your thoughts, your emotions, your awareness, all pulling on each other in ways you can't predict, creating a future that even the laws of physics can't calculate. Before we go deeper, hit subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss what's coming next. Because once you see this, you'll never look at choice the same way again. Newton thought he'd cracked the code. Two objects in space, let's say Earth and the Moon, they orbit each other in perfect mathematical harmony. You can write an equation, plug in the masses and distances, and predict exactly where they'll be 1,000 years from now. The universe was a clock, deterministic, knowable. Every effect had a cause, every future could be calculated. Then someone asked the wrong question. What happens when you add just one more object? 3 stars, 3 planets, hell, 3 billiard balls if you want. It doesn't matter. The moment you introduce a third body into the system, the math collapses. Not because we're not smart enough, not because computers aren't fast enough. The equations themselves stop working. There is no formula, no closed solution. The system becomes what Henri Poincaré called sensitive to initial conditions, a fancy way of saying that the tiniest difference at the start creates wildly different outcomes at the end. Picture yourself walking along a mountain ridge. Your left foot is 1 millimeter to the left of where it could have been. That's it, 1 millimeter. On one side of the ridge, you're fine. On the other, you tumble down the mountain. 2 nearly identical starting points, 2 completely different endings. That's the three-body problem. That's chaos theory, and that's your life. Here's where it gets strange. The universe is still deterministic. There are rules, laws of physics that never break. Gravity still pulls, mass still attracts, but the outcome? Completely unpredictable. You can have a system that follows every law perfectly and still produces a future no equation can foresee. Deterministic, but unknowable. How does that even work? Because prediction isn't the same as causation. Just because something is caused doesn't mean you can calculate it in advance. The solar system you're standing on right now is a many-body problem. Earth, the Moon, the Sun, Jupiter, Saturn, every chunk of rock spinning through space is pulling on everything else. Our continued existence depends on chaotic forces that we cannot solve. We're still here because the chaos happens to be stable, for now. Scientists run simulations, approximations, best guesses. But there's no formula that guarantees Earth's orbit won't destabilize in 1 million years. Most people hear this and feel existential dread. But here's the twist. Chaos isn't the enemy. Chaos is the only reason you're not a robot. Think about what a solvable universe would mean. If every system could be predicted, if adding more complexity didn't create unpredictability, then your future would already be written. Every decision you think you're making would just be the inevitable output of particles that were already in motion at the Big Bang. You'd be conscious, sure, but you'd be watching a movie you can't pause. The three-body problem breaks that. When Poincaré discovered this in the late 1800s, he accidentally proved that free will could exist inside a deterministic universe. He didn't set out to do that.
he was trying to win a prize by solving planetary motion.
Instead, he found something bigger. He found that systems obeying fixed rules could still diverge into infinite possibility. Deterministic, but non-computable. Lawful, but free. Let that sit for a second. You are a three-body system: thought, emotion, awareness. Each one influences the other two. Your thoughts trigger emotions. Your emotions shift your awareness. Your awareness reframes your thoughts. Round and round, pulling on each other like stars in orbit, creating patterns that even you can't predict. You've had mornings where you woke up fine, then one thought spiraled you into anxiety within minutes. You've had days where a stranger's smile shifted your entire mood. Tiny perturbations, massive divergence. The Lyapunov exponent measures how fast two similar starting conditions diverge in a chaotic system. In consciousness, that's how fast one thought branches into a completely different mental state. High sensitivity means high freedom. If your mind were chaotic, you'd be stuck in loops, fully predictable, unable to change. Chaos is the mechanism that lets you break patterns. But there's structure inside the chaos. Poincaré maps show that even chaotic systems return to certain regions of possibility. You don't think random thoughts. You orbit around familiar patterns, recurring worries, habitual emotional states. These are your attractors, the psychological grooves you keep falling into. They're not prison cells, they're islands of stability in an ocean of possibility. You can leave them, but you have to apply force in the right direction at the right time. Here's where quantum physics walks in through the side door.
The observer effect, the idea that measurement changes the system, isn't just a microscopic quirk. It's the same principle playing out in chaotic systems. When you become aware of your own thought patterns, you're adding a fourth body to a three-body problem. You're collapsing probability into something new. Consciousness doesn't just witness the chaos, it participates in it. Manifestation teachers talk about vibration, about aligning your state to create your reality. They're right, but they're missing the math. You're not attracting outcomes through magic. You're sensitively dependent on your initial conditions. Change your internal state even slightly, shift your baseline emotion, reframe one belief, and the trajectory of your decisions, behaviors, and reactions diverges. Not because the universe is responding to your energy.
Because you are a chaotic system, and chaotic systems amplify small changes into large effects. The three-body problem explains why two people can do the same manifestation technique and get opposite results. They didn't start from the same initial conditions. Their internal position and velocity, their actual beliefs, emotional baseline, unconscious assumptions were different. 1 millimeter to the left or right on the ridge. Same action, different fall. Poincaré also proved something called the recurrence theorem. Any system with finite energy must eventually return arbitrarily close to where it started. Sounds like reincarnation, doesn't it? Sounds like cycles, loops, the eternal return. But here's the exception. Consciousness might be infinite dimensional. Even in a finite space, if the system has infinite dimensions, it never truly repeats.
You've had thoughts that feel familiar, but they're never exactly the same twice. You spiral near old patterns, but never land on them perfectly. That's the geometry of awareness. Poincaré's conjecture, later proven, says that every simply connected, closed, three-dimensional surface is topologically equivalent to a sphere. Applied to consciousness, every possible structure of thought in three dimensions, past, present, future, or id, ego, superego, or thought, emotion, awareness, is just a different shape of the same sphere. All minds share the same fundamental topology. We're all variations of one form, different contents, same container. The universe could have been solvable. It could have been a two-body system writ large.
Clean, predictable, deterministic in every practical sense. But it's not. The moment you get 3 or more elements interacting, prediction breaks down. That's not a flaw.
That's design. Chaos protects freedom. Unpredictability prevents predestination. You're not a passenger in a pre-written story. You're a strange attractor iterating through possibility space, sensitive to everything, computable by nothing. There are no closed solutions to the three-body problem because there are no closed solutions to consciousness. You're always computing yourself, adjusting, diverging, evolving in ways no equation will ever capture. The same math that makes planetary orbits unstable makes your future unwritten. Which means every small shift you make, every reframe, every choice to observe yourself differently has the potential to send you down a completely different mountain. That's the real answer to why the three-body problem is unsolvable. It's not unsolvable because it's complicated. It's unsolvable because solving it would mean the end of change.
The end of surprise. The end of becoming. Chaos isn't the breakdown of order. It's the space where order and freedom coexist. Deterministic laws, infinite outcomes. You're living proof that the universe didn't want to be a clock. It wanted to be a conversation. You've felt this your whole life without naming it. You've made tiny decisions that shifted everything. You've started from almost the same emotional place as yesterday, but ended up somewhere completely new. You've tried to predict yourself and failed. That's not failure. That's the three-body problem of being human. Thought, emotion, awareness, pulling on each other in patterns you can't solve, but can absolutely influence. You can't predict where you'll end up, but you can change the initial conditions, and in a chaotic system, that changes everything. Rogue planets exist because of this.
When 3 stars interact, sometimes one body gets ejected entirely, flung out of the system into the darkness. Scientists estimate there might be 20 times more rogue planets than stars in the galaxy, wandering through space with no sun to orbit. That's what happens when the math gets too chaotic. But here's the thing, they're still planets, still whole, still moving. Sometimes getting ejected from your old orbit is the only way to find a new one. There are rare solutions. 3 bodies of equal mass can orbit each other in a perfect figure 8 if the starting conditions are exactly right. It's been calculated, it's mathematically beautiful, and it almost never happens in nature. Real systems are messy, unequal masses, imperfect positions. That's fine. Perfection isn't the goal. Survival is. Adaptation is.
Our solar system is stable, not because the math is perfect, but because the chaos happens to balance out. So far, we're walking the ridge. Consciousness works the same way. You're not trying to achieve some perfect equilibrium where you never feel chaos again. You're learning to walk the ridge without falling. You're learning to recognize when a small shift will send you left or right, and you're learning to make those shifts intentionally, not control, influence. You can't solve yourself, but you can steer. The Netflix show got one thing wrong. They asked whether life could evolve on a planet orbiting 3 stars in chaotic motion. Scientists say no. The conditions would be too unstable. But you're already that planet. You already live inside a 3-body problem with no stable orbit. And somehow, you're still here. Consciousness evolved in chaos. Maybe because of it.
When you try to manifest something and it doesn't happen, you assume you did it wrong. Maybe. Or maybe you were 1 millimeter off on the ridge. Maybe your emotional starting point was close, but not close enough. Maybe the system diverged in a direction you didn't expect, because that's what chaotic systems do. That doesn't mean it doesn't work.
It means the math is real. Small differences compound. You can't brute force a chaotic system into obedience. You have to feel your way along the ridge. Poincaré said it himself. Logic is how we prove. Intuition is how we discover. Logic is the conscious computation. Intuition is consciousness recognizing patterns logic can't see. You've solved problems by not thinking about them, by letting them incubate and then suddenly seeing the answer. That's not magic. That's your mind running through chaotic iterations in the background, finding attractors in possibility space, collapsing options into insight. You are a three-body problem solving itself in real time. The reason this matters, really matters, is because you've been taught to fear unpredictability. You've been told that if you can't control the outcome, you're powerless. But the three-body problem proves the opposite. Unpredictability is the source of your power. Sensitivity to initial conditions means you're never stuck. Change the input even slightly, and the output shifts in ways you couldn't calculate, but will absolutely feel. That's not weakness, that's leverage. You are deterministic. Your thoughts follow patterns. Your emotions have causes. Your awareness operates within physical laws. And yet, you are unpredictable. Not random, unpredictable. There's a difference. Random means no cause. Unpredictable means the cause is there, but the effect is too sensitive, too complex, too dependent on invisible variables to pin down in advance. You're chaotic in the mathematical sense, which means you're free in the only way that matters. Three bodies, three poles, infinite futures, no solution. That's not the problem. That's the point. You made it this far. Drop a comment with the word chaos so I know you're seeing what I'm seeing. And hit subscribe if you haven't yet, because we're just getting started. There's another video coming up on your screen that's going to take this even further. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.